What's up everyone, I'm going to be doing a quick review and comparison between the camera of these two devices. Obviously, as you can see, I have on my right side the iPhone 5 and on the left side the iPhone 4S. There's that black bar.
Awsmblssm.
A lot of people think that the cameras are the same for both these devices, and that's not entirely false. But I did find some interesting things when I took some pictures in low light. Now, a lot of people will post videos and comparisons of the two cameras, but those will be in daylight situations, ideal for the cameras for these two devices. So what I did is to try to put this iPhone 5 through its paces. I took pictures in varying light settings. Now the pictures that I'm going to show you have not been processed in any way in post-production. They are just simply juxtaposed so you can compare them for yourselves, and each picture lasts on the screen for about 4 seconds, which is a bit long, but I'll walk you through them and kind of tell you what I see, and you can form your own opinion accordingly. Additionally, I have done a video comparison of the two devices in also, again, low light situations. Now, as you know, both cameras are 8 megapixels on these two devices. The difference being that the iPhone 5 apparently has a sapphire lens cover as opposed to a typical glass cover. Aside from that, the iPhone 5 also has a like a sort of a microphone in the center there, which is a new addition, so it's supposed to help with the audio quality. And even in the video comparison that I've done, I have split the audio up so you can see a little bit of a difference between the two, but I'll leave that for you to decide. Before we get there though, I'm going to show you the interface of these two devices. In the camera mode, when you open the camera right off the lock screen, the really biggest difference is that the iPhone 4S has that black bar on the side, right there you can see. And in contrast, when you switch to video mode, that black bar is still there, and the field of view is a little bit smaller. Now I'm going to switch back to the picture mode, and I'll show you the screen on the iPhone 5. A little bit wider, there is that black bar, but now the button on the side is basically circle. When you switch to video mode, it shows you the whole screen, which is kind of nice. Your field of view is a little bit wider. Additionally, you have the option to take a picture, once you start recording, you can actually take a picture during your video. So right there, if I press this button, it lets me take a picture, and as you can see, the timer on the bottom has not been interrupted. So anyways, that's the biggest difference between the two interfaces. They are both still the same. They both still support the panorama feature, you can see right there. And once again, just a comparison of the two interfaces in picture mode. Now, without any further delay, I'm going to show you the images that I had taken on these two devices. And once again, they are to test the difference in low light situations, not under ideal circumstances, and they really do put the cameras on these devices through their paces. And anyways, here we go. Here are the pictures. Okay, so starting off with the pictures that I noticed, or that I took, you can see right off the bat this very first image has a little bit less of a glow coming off of the tail light of the car in front of me on the iPhone 5 versus the iPhone 4S. Additionally, a little bit less of a glare in general on the 5 than the 4S. Not that noticeable. Will it make a huge difference? Probably not. We're going to move on to the next image. In this case, the color representation is about the same on both devices. Not really that much of a noticeable difference in this lighting circumstance. This is at a local Walmart, so you get pretty good lighting on the top. This is again at Walmart. You can see the frost container on the right side image for the gum in the middle. The right side blue packet is a little bit more in focus, and I did tap on there for both devices to take the image to try to focus on the same point. So that's the only thing I noticed. The focusing was a little bit more concise on the iPhone 5, and it did focus a little bit easier on the iPhone 5 exactly where I tapped it. This next picture is of the bay. Yes, I was at square one. The only differences here really are that I guess the contrast is a little bit better on the iPhone 5. Not really worth the change if you have a 4S already, but there was a little bit of a difference I noticed. Here's where there was a little bit more of a difference between the two images, iPhone 4S versus the iPhone 5. The color representation on the 5 was a lot more realistic, whereas on the 4S it seemed a little bit more kind of like, I guess, under white light or under yellow. The white balance was a bit off, it seemed. Here's another big difference. I did tap to focus on the little baby's hand that I stole. Yes, I did steal a baby for this review. You see the lens that I go to for the sake of YouTube. And next to no recognition. Anyway, so the iPhone 5, you can see the colors are a lot better in this case, and the contrast between the light and the dark sides is a lot more pronounced on the right side image, which is the iPhone 5 once again, versus the iPhone 4S image. Next image is in an indoor parking lot in a basement somewhere. The iPhone 5 had a little bit more, the focus was a little better. If you notice that writing on the column 2V32, the right side image shows it to be a little bit more in focus, and in general the image seems a little bit more focused on the right side, the iPhone 5 image. Moving on, this was another instance where the iPhone 5's camera really did shine, because you noticed a little bit less of a, I don't know what this effect is called, but it's kind of like when you look into a light with most cameras, you get some sort of a halo effect. And if you notice the bottom left corner of both these images, the iPhone 5's image is a little bit more darker, so the blacks are a little bit more richer. You can still see somewhat, relatively more green in the right side image versus the left side image, which is more yellow than it is green. So I'd say in this case the iPhone 5 is definitely a winner. The next image was at a local Starbucks. So these images, I tried to take them as much as I could in a setting where you can go yourselves and see what it should look like, and you get an idea of what the images that I took. So on the iPhone 5, again, there's slightly better contrast between dark and light, and the blue color on the right side image was a little bit better than on the left side image. Moving on, this was, I tapped to focus over here on that flower pattern. As you can see on the packaging, this is a can of mints at Starbucks. It's a little bit better on the iPhone 5. Not really that noticeable, but it was a little bit faster to take the image. Moving on, same idea over here, the iPhone 5, slightly better, simply because the tap to focus feature was a lot more concise. So when I tapped, there wasn't as big of a square selected rather than the iPhone 4S, where the square was relatively bigger. So that just means that the focusing was a little bit more precise and concise. It took a little bit less time to get it focused. Moving on to the next image, these are some espresso shot glasses. They're about the same. I noticed the iPhone 5's image was a little bit darker than the 4S, just a bit, and that could just be where I tapped to focus. I tried to get it right on the shot glass itself, but as you can see, one is a little bit more covered on the inside with espresso rather than the other one, so it could have skewed the white balancing or the color quality. Now I'm going to show you some sample videos I took with the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 4S, and in low light situations and then in proper light situations. Please pay attention to the image stabilization that will occur in the very first video, which is the car driving video, and the audio will go in and out for both.
And you replaced, I got the screen replaced.
Oh, you went to that store?
No, I went
to White. So anyways, the take-home message here is that the iPhone 5 has a pretty phenomenal camera compared to the iPhone 4 but not necessarily compared to the iPhone 4S. Would I upgrade? I obviously did, because I'm retarded and have obviously way too much money. I don't have any money. The difference between these two would really just come down to the physical dimensions of the actual device. I mean, do you feel more comfortable holding an iPhone 5 versus an iPhone 4S when you're shooting taking your pictures or doing your videos or anything you do? And really it comes down to price tag. If I had any sense, I probably wouldn't have I would have listened to all my friends and just stuck with my iPhone 4S and not jumped on the iPhone 5 bandwagon. But that being said, it is a phenomenal handset. It does feel amazing. As far as camera goes though, I don't know if it's necessarily worth the upgrade. iPhone 4S still has one of the top of the line cameras on the handset and phone market. Anyways, that concludes my quick look at the cameras on these two devices. Be sure to rate, subscribe, and leave comments below for what you'd like to see me do next, or whichever character you'd like to see done next. Be sure to check out my other videos as well while you're at it. awsmblssm, signing out, I guess. Thanks for watching.